And welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to the Saturday night football review for round 5 of the 2024 NRL season. We saw 3 games of football today. We saw the Warriors go to Sydney and beat the Rabbitohs 34 points to 4. We saw the Manly Warringah Seagulls cause an upset at Brookie in front of a sold-out Brookvale Oval there, betting the Penrith Panthers 32 points to 18. And we saw the Dolphins defeat the West Tigers up at Suncorp Stadium there, 26 points to 16. My name is Nick from Australia, and if you guys are new around here, don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, hello to the live chat. Everyone that's here, I hope you're all doing well. What a very entertaining Super Saturday that we saw today, man. Hello to Josh. Hello to Riley, Hosea, Michael, Luke. Hello to Boat. Hello to Hosea. Hello to Will, Mel, Jason Reader, Luke Melbourne Storm fan. Tremontina, William Pearson, everyone that's tuning in. I hope you're all doing good. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. Saturday football review. By myself tonight, I don't believe any of my guests are coming on, but we're going to get through this. Hello to York, Bosky, Light Up the City. Hope everyone's doing good. Let's get into the review of all 3 games. Fuck, it's been a wild round for tipping, man. I've only got 3 right so far out of the 6 games. The only games I've tipped correctly is Melbourne, Warriors, Dolphins. Roosters let me down, Dragons let me down, and Penrith let me down. But let's go back to the very first game, man. Warriors 34, South Sydney Rabbitohs 4, man. Look, the Rabbitohs have got some major internal problems, man. We spoke about it last week. Even though they beat the Bulldogs, we didn't speak about it last week. I didn't even review the game because I was up in Brisbane for Broncos Cowboys. But the week before that, when they played the Roosters, I was in Sydney and I watched them live, and they were just terrible, man. South Sydney are in absolute shambles, man. They've got dramas, the coaching situation. Is Demetrio the man for the job? Latrell's not playing his best, doing a couple of silly things, a couple of late tackles and just dumb stuff. Cody Walker's not playing good footy. Everyone's just down on confidence, and, you know, it's really hard to see any positives for the Rabbitohs. Now, don't get me wrong. Full credit to the Warriors. I thought they were very good. I thought their second half in particular was very good. But for me, the Warriors won this game in the final 7-8 minutes of the first half. It was Warriors 6-4 for a very long time. Very long time. It was 6-4 Warriors. And it was a grind for a good 25 minutes. But that try that Jackson Ford scored, which put the Warriors up 8, and then the Sean Johnson try pretty much with about 2 minutes to half time, that pretty much sealed the game. And at 18-4, it's hard to see Souths coming back. Now, I know Souths have got a good history of coming back in games, but with their current style of football and the way they're currently playing, I just didn't see how Souths were going to come back. Now, the Warriors were great, and full credit to them. I will praise the Warriors as long as I can, but we can't deny how bad the Rabbitohs are at the moment. For me, based off the first 5 rounds, now this could change. Souths could finish 7 for 8 still. There's a long way to go in the season, but from what I have seen from the Rabbitohs in the first 5 weeks, they are a bottom 4 team, man. They are shocking. All over the park. The forward pack is terrible, getting absolutely rolled. Even when Fanua Blake went off the field, the Warriors were still going through Souths. Bunty Afoa was making meters. Justin Vugger had a bit of a shocker, but everyone else was just doing their thing, man. Tory Harris stood up to the plate. Mitch Barnett was a beast. Everyone was just doing their thing. Now, Sean Johnson was obviously the best player on the field. Wasn't even close. Sean Johnson, I think he had 2 try assists in the first half, scored 2 tries as well. Sean Johnson was easily the best player on the or best player on the ground. But I'm looking at South right now, and I'm worried about them. I am really worried about the Rabbitohs. You guys want to know who South Sydney play in their next 3 games? They got the Sharks next week, which won't be easy. Then they get a week off, which they bloody need right now. Then they play Melbourne on Anzac Day. Then they play Penrith. Who the hell are they going to beat? Now, out of Cronulla, Melbourne, Penrith, the Rabbitohs are more likely to beat Cronulla. Let's be honest. They are more likely to beat Cronulla. But gee whiz. I think Jason Demetrio is under enormous pressure. And I said this a few weeks ago. I think Demetrio will be fired by Magic Round. By Magic Round, he'll be fired. I can't see him keeping his job by then. But, man, the Warriors, I know it was South, and I know they were terrible, but the Warriors look like a top 4 side. They really do. The Warriors are happy to grind out a game with you where it's back and forth. It's, a 2-point margin, or even if the score's level for about 20 minutes. And then they just kick on, bro. They just get going. Sean Johnson does his thing. Very patient. The Fords go berserk, bro. Fanua Blake, Tohu Harris, they just go nuts, man. And then you got Jackson Ford in the back row, who's just getting better each game. And then there was no Kurt Caper or Moratini at core today. And they had Barnett play in the back row, which he's done plenty of times. Barnett was a beast on that right edge. He was doing some good things. Tuivasa-Sheck moved to the wing, which allowed Adam Pompey to play center. Tuivasa-Sheck on the wing was so dangerous. It was great. He scored a try. Game 200. Good to see there. And Tamari Martin came in, did the job. Thought he was fantastic. I thought the Warriors were terrific all over the park, man. Couple of injuries, but they still seem to kick on, man. Exactly. No Dallin as well. RTS goes to the wing. They bring in Adam Pompey, who's a really good center. I'm a fan of Adam Pompey. I think he's a little bit unlucky not to be in the team, but when you've got Roger at center, when you've got Chance at fullback, when you've got Rocco Berry at the other center who's killing it, it's hard for Pompey to make the team at the moment. They've got some bloody impact, man. And another player I want to give a massive rap to. How good was Wade Egan? Wade Egan was absolutely outstanding. And I know it might be a bit of an early call to say this. I think Api Coruscant will be the New South Wales hooker, but Wade Egan has to be a definite chance of making the squad, even if it's just a 21, 22-man squad. Wade Egan has to be in there, man. For me, Wade Egan's the second best hooker in New South Wales right now. Like, if I'm lining up all of the New South Wales hookers, Coruscant's my man. Coruscant's the hooker. But, you got hookers like Blake Brayley. You got guys like Reece Robson. Guys like Wade Egan. Bro, Damien Cook as well. Wade Egan is the number 2 choice right now, without a doubt. If something happens to Coruscant, I'm picking Wade Egan for New South Wales, man. I'm having him at least in the squad. He's in form, man. He's killing it. Good to see Wade Egan playing good footy, man. Underrated player too. But not much more to say on this game. I'm going to say Sean Johnson is my player of the game, and the Warriors, who don't usually go that great in Sydney, far too good for the Rabbitohs, man. 34 points to 4. And yes, Hosea Chance, it was all right. That tackle he missed on Isaac Thompson was disappointing, but I thought Chance was solid. Probably a 6 out of 10 for Chance. But yeah, Warriors, too good. On to the middle game of Super Saturday, and the Manly Warringah Seagulls defeating the Penrith Panthers 32-18. Didn't see it coming. I'm not that surprised that Manly won. I did expect Manly to sort of bounce back from their last couple of performances. I mean, Manly are a hard team to get a read on at the moment. I mean, that they went to Vegas, they beat the Rabbitohs, who, I mean, look at the Rabbitohs right now, they're shocking. Then they beat the Roosters at Brookvale, which was a great performance. Lost to Parramatta in a tight one, a little bit controversial, but they lost that game after leading 14-0 to Parramatta. And they were absolutely shocking against the Dragons last week. So the form line of Manly is still a little bit hard to get a read on, but gee, they look good. They look good. It just goes to show what a team can do when they complete their sets and they're not making 15 errors. Manly were had about 15 errors against the Dragons last week, and today they didn't even have that, and they were very good. When they lost Ruben Garrick early on due to that HIA, I was really worried about them. I was like, shit, because they had to move Ben Chaboyevich to the centres. They had to move Corey Waddell to the back row. Massive rap to Corey Waddell. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I thought Daly Cherry Evans was terrific. He was fantastic, man. Tom Chaboyevich, great game. Even Ola Kawadu was somewhat quiet, and Manly was still so good. The tries from this game, so obviously Brad Snyder scored the first try of the game. Edwards got a double for Penrith. Tries for Manly were Tom Chaboyevich. The Kohler one, which I'll get to in a moment. DCE scored in game 3-10. Good to see DCE scoring. Waddell went over for a very much-deserved try, and Jackson Polo got one as well. Okay, when it was 8-6, Manly, there was 5 minutes to halftime. Penrith went down the right-hand side of the field. There was a clear knock-on from, I think it was Tommy Talau, which led to Kohler running, 90 meters, whatever it was. I can't believe that try was fucking awarded. Oh, hang on a minute. We got a troll here, do we? I remember your name, bud. See you later. Get out of here. The Kohler try. What a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace to NRL, man. What a disgrace. I guarantee you the NRL will come out tomorrow or Monday, Graham Annesley. They'll come out and they'll say, we got it wrong. The try should not have been awarded. Did it hurt Penrith? Yes. Did it cost Penrith? No. There's no robbery involved here. Yes, it gave Manly an 8-point lead, which definitely did hurt Penrith a little bit, but they did get it back to 14-12, and unfortunately for Penrith, they were unable to continue with the momentum. It didn't cost them the game. It definitely hurt them, but it was a terrible decision. That Kohler try was a disgrace. Should not have been awarded. Jackson Paulo clearly knocked the ball on. Clearly. And if you go onto the NRL page on social media, they actually showed that Kohler try, and it said something like playing to the whistle. So I think they know that it shouldn't even been a try itself. So, yeah, that was a terrible decision, man. Not gone. Not gone in 110 plus years of rugby league. But I thought DCE's try was absolutely fantastic. Good to see him score. Corey Waddell as well. It was fucking awesome. And obviously Paulo scoring at the end, which ended up sealing the deal. I thought Penrith were a bit off. Look, full credit to Manly. They deserved the win. They were the better team. But I thought Penrith were a bit off their game. They did lose Jerome Luai to an injury. I'm not sure how long or how bad the injury is. But Penrith do have the bye next week. And then they play the Tigers, I believe, at Bathurst. So at least in that situation, they'll get Cleary back and Sorensen. So it's not all bad for Penrith, but yeah, they really fucking struggled today. Penrith with their attack. Dylan Edwards, though. Dylan Edwards was on a mission, man. Edwards was fantastic. He scored 2 tries. He had a great game. Now, I know the Panthers play the Tigers in 2 weeks, but after the way Penrith played today, how shocking they were, how poor they were with discipline and completion rate, I would not want to play Penrith. Would not want to play them. Not after last week. Not after that, man. So I think Penrith will be fine, but yeah, you wouldn't want to play them. And last time Penrith lost the game was round one, and then they played Parramatta, and they gave it to Parramatta, especially in that second half. So yeah, wouldn't want to play Penrith after a loss. But look, I thought Dylan Edwards was outstanding. I thought DCE was phenomenal against Penrith. I thought Tom Trbojevic had a great game. Corey Waddell was terrific, man. My player of the game. Look, I'm really torn on this one. I'm really torn on player of the game. Also, I just want to give a massive mention to Sipley and Nathan Brown. They were phenomenal off the bench. Nathan Brown went after Fisher Harris. He was fantastic. Paseka was good. So, yeah, good stuff there from the Manly forwards. But, yeah, player of the game, I'm going to give it to Tommy Turbo. I thought Tommy Turbo had a really good game today, and I'm going to give him the player of the game. And the final game to review, Dolphins 26, West Tigers 16. This was a weird game. And look, I'm going to be a little bit respectful. I'm going to be disrespectful here and respectful. With all due respect to both sides, because this is going to be a very disrespectful comment from me. This was a good old-fashioned bottom 8 game. This was like one of those games where it was 11th place on the ladder versus 13th, or 12th versus 13th. This was a typical mid-table bottom 8 game. This was not a high-quality match, man. It really wasn't. Dolphins are a team that I think can finish anywhere between 7th and 13th. And the Tigers are the sort of team where I can see them finishing between 15th and 11th. This was a typical 10 versus 11, 12 versus 14 type game, man. Not a good game to watch. Bit scrappy. Both sides, last tackle options weren't the greatest. I must give a massive mention to Aiden Caesar for the Tigers. Thought he was their best player. He had a really good game. Kicked 2 40-20s. Set up, I think he set up 2 tries. Aiden Caesar was very good for the Tigers, man. Good to see Aiden Caesar playing some really good footy, man. Like, he's been over at the Super League for a couple of years, and he's a good player. Aiden Caesar has always had the talent. Has always been a quality player. I'm glad he's found a home at the Tigers there. He's going really well. Tries in this game, obviously, Isaiah Katoa got the first try of the game. The Hammer got one. Cuddy Nikarima had a good try for Katoa kick. Kenny Bromwich went over, which was a bit of a surprise. For Tape for the Tigers, he got 2 tries. And Alex Seyfarth got one at the end to make it a 10-point game. The Tigers did have an opportunity with about a minute to go, but instead of throwing the ball left from dummy half, they tried to go for the line, and they ended up dropping the ball, I think. So could have potentially been 26-20 and, game on with 40 seconds to go, but wasn't to be. Wasn't to be for the Tigers. You can really tell how much the West Tigers missed Lachlan Galvin tonight. I know Lachlan Galvin's only played about 3 NRL games, and he's only a rookie, and he's only a kid, and a kid like him shouldn't have this much impact on the team, but with how good he played against Cronulla 2 weeks ago, how good he played against Parramatta last week, pretty much winning them the game, or getting them back in the game, I should say. His absence tonight was really missed. It really was. Now, Api Coruscant deserves a mention, a big rap, man. Coruscant got injured in the warm-up. He got injured in the warm-up. He had his legs strapped, ended up in the dressing sheds, ended up playing the game. I reckon 7 times out of 10, Api Coruscant probably wouldn't have played. If that was anyone else, if that was a lower-tier hooker that doesn't have an impact like Api Coruscant does in the Tigers, they probably don't play the game. Like, if that was if that was a Billy Walters, if that was a Jaden Brayley, if that was, a Joey Lussick, someone of the more lower tier, they probably don't play. They probably don't play the game. So Coruscant to play for injury was tough. He did get injured during the game. He went off. He came back, gave the Tigers some impact, but the Dolphins were just a little bit too good, man. They got out to a 14-0 start and never really looked back. They never really looked back from there. The Tigers will be fine. They'll be okay. They got a couple of tough games coming up. They got the Dragons next week down at Campbelltown, which I think is going to be a very close game. The Dragons will want to bounce back from their shit game in the wet yesterday, and the Tigers were a bit scrappy, and Galvin's not back next week. So Tigers and Dragons next week is a real flip of the coin game for me. But really good to see the Dolphins get a win here tonight. Good to see them back up a little bit of consistency. I believe who they beat last week? The Dolphins. They won, didn't they? They beat the Titans. So good to see the Dolphins back up some consistency. But with all due respect, beating the Gold Coast Titans and the West Tigers isn't anything to brag over. The Dolphins are first on the ladder at the moment, but I think that there's a little bit of fool's gold in there, man. A little bit of fool's gold. They haven't really beat anyone. That's great. They do play the Broncos next Friday night, which will test where they're at. But I got some injuries, man. Flagler went off injured. Herbie went off injured. It's going to be tough for the Dolphins next week. Broncos will be without a few players as well. But the Dolphins, for me, I consider them a chance against the Broncos if their players didn't get injured tonight. But now that Herbie and Flagler are probably going to be out next week, going to be tough for them. But good win for the Dolphins tonight. They were just too good for the Tigers. A player of the game. Look, there's a few players. There's a few players you could really pick here. There was a lot of them, man. You got Hammer, Isaiah Katoa. I thought Kenny Bromwich was good. I thought Avarillo had a really good game. I'm going to give it to the halfback, Isaiah Katoa, man. Isaiah Katoa was phenomenal, man. So I'm going to give him the player of the game. The young 20-year-old halfback scored a try, set one up for Nicarima. Katoa was my player of the game. I was really impressed. But fellas and ladies and everyone that's watching the review, that is going to be where the review finishes. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the review tonight. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Cowboys versus Titans tomorrow. I think I might do a live stream. I haven't done any watch-along, live reaction, live stream games this season because basically, round 1, I was at Dolphins-Cowboys. Round 2, I watched the Cowboys-Knights game with my dad. Round 3, I was in Sydney for the Dragons-Cowboys. And round 4, I was at Broncos-Cowboys. So, round 5, I'm sure as hell not going to be in Townsville tomorrow. So, I think I might do a live reaction to the game against the Titans tomorrow. Let's just pray for a big Cowboys win. I'm expecting us to win minimum 16 points. We should win easy. So hopefully we get it done tomorrow. Move on to Parramatta next week, which I'll be at, which should be fantastic. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the review. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and I will see you legends tomorrow. Until then, take care, everybody.